And now it's time for the honorable mention. For Studio Ghibli, not only do they produce such wonderful animated features, but it is also the home of a variety of projects. From TV shows such as Ronia the Robber's Daughter, animated shorts such as the ones they would make for the Ghibli Museum, video games such as Ni no Kuni, or even other animated features they would help out make, like Ghost in the Shell 2: Innocence. They're all fantastic choices, but the one that I picked for this, well, technically, isn't really a Studio Ghibli film. Although that it was pretty much made long before that the studio came into fruition, not only is it one of the most highly influential animated features, but it is also one of the most historically important films for the events that would come that would be extremely life-changing for everyone. And so, Hayao Miyazaki in 1979 went on to make his directorial debut with the Castle of Cagliostro.
It's the story of master thief Lupin, who decided to go to Cagliostro to solve a mystery involving counterfeit money with his pal Jigen, which they found out when robbing the Monte Carlo casino. While on their way, they saved a runaway bride, well, almost, named Clarice, who gave Lupin a ring, which is connected to another Cagliostro mystery involving the nation's hidden treasure. Now Lupin and his crew must go figure the mysteries of Cagliostro while also saving Clarice. Now, before I fully get into this movie, allow me to introduce you to Arsène Lupin the Third, who began as a 1967 manga series by Monkey Punch. No, that's not the publishing company, that's actually the name of the creator. Anyways, Lupin was based directly on Maurice Leblanc's character of the same name. The manga even mentions that he's the grandson of Leblanc's Lupin. The popularity of the mangas went on to get Lupin several anime series, video games, TV specials, and feature films that allowed him to grow into a Japanese icon. The first movie he was in, the 1978 The Mystery of Mamo, ended up as a financial success, and there was already a demand for a second movie for the following year. Now here is where today's subject comes in. The second Lupin film would have been an adaptation of the Lupin the Third Part 2 series directed by Yasuo Otsuka and written by Seijun Suzuki. However, Otsuka didn't like how the movie was going, so he decided to leave it in the hands of a young Hayao Miyazaki, who never was in charge of a movie before, but he was familiar with Lupin, since he and Isao Takahata were the directors of the first Lupin series from episode 7, A Wolf Calls a Wolf, to the finale on episode 23, The Great Gold Showdown. As Miyazaki took the script, he decided to change it completely into something more original, taking inspirations from a few different Leblanc's Lupin stories and other books, including Italian Mountain Cities and the Tiber Estuary, La Justice d'Arsène Lupin, and especially Countess Cagliostro, where Lupin would meet the granddaughter of actual 18th century historical figure Count Alejandro di Cagliostro. As he was in charge, not only did he take on the role of director, but he was also the writer, storyboard artist, and designer of the whole movie. Since the demand was to make a second Lupin film the year after the first one, the movie had a ridiculously short production time of 6 months, from May to November of 1979. In order to make time for the release, Miyazaki had to go and alter the script during post-production. Despite making it on time, he always felt unsatisfied with the finished product, even to this day. When it was released on December 15th, 1979, it did not look good. The movie ended up as a financial flop, and even Lupin fans were unpleased by how the characters differ from the original manga, which is something that Miyazaki admittedly did. Instead of portraying Lupin as an arrogant, womanizing anti-hero, he became more nobler and more of a selfless hero. Miyazaki also changed some of the other recurring characters, like Jigen and Goemon are more friendly and humorous, while Fujiko was taken off any sense of eroticism and sexuality. Soon afterwards, Miyazaki would go and direct 2 episodes of the second Lupin series, Wings of Death Albatross and Farewell My Beloved Lupin, before deciding to quit TV animation. When the movie was translated to English in 1991 by Streamline Pictures, Fred Patton had an argument about what the English title would be. He thought that Cagliostro Castle would just sound like your typical name for a castle. But then he decided to go with the Castle of Cagliostro, since it sounded more sinister and would suit better with the antagonist of the movie. Not only that, but then it would get a second English dub, this time by Manga Entertainment in 2000, featuring a cast of anime voice actors including David Hayter as Lupin, Kirk Thornton as Count Cagliostro, John Snyder as Jigen, and many more. Interestingly enough, the English dubs would never address the main character as Lupin. You see, when Monkey Punch made the manga, he didn't ask for permission from the Maurice LeBlanc estate to use the Lupin name, since at the time, Japan did not have any copyright laws requiring you to do so. As the character would get recognized in other places in the world, that's when the copyright issues kick in, and the English versions would instead have to refer to him as either Wolf or Rupan.
Actually, I'm on the trail of an international thief known as Wolf. He's number 1 on our list of most wanted criminals.
However, it seems like the movie turned out to be like wine. As it gets older, it becomes more popular and more acclaimed. With every re-release and re-airing it got, the audience and fan base for the movie grew larger and larger. Even Monkey Punch himself really liked the movie, but did admit that Miyazaki's take on the characters is much more different than his, saying that I wouldn't have had him rescue the girl, I would have had him rape her?
I'm sorry, what?
As its audience grows, it would then catch the eyes of filmmakers that would go on to become legends, including one guy who first saw it that would later become one of Miyazaki's biggest fanboys, John Lasseter. Some of the scenes in the movie would even go on to inspire other animated features and TV series, including the Big Ben battle from Disney's The Great Mouse Detective, the Clock King episode from Batman the Animated Series, the ending scene from Disney's Atlantis The Lost Empire, and when Bart rolls down the roof from the Simpsons movie. In fact, rumor has it that the movie was a major influence for Steven Spielberg when he made the action scenes for The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn, and the Indiana Jones movies. In 2001, the readers of Animage voted the movie to be the best anime in history, and Time Out placed it at number 48 on its top 100 best animated films. After the movie was finished, Miyazaki would get a call from someone from Animage called Toshio Suzuki to talk about Cagliostro. As time would move on, the two would become good friends and decided to team up, along with Isao Takahata, to make the movie titled Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and then form an entire animation company called Studio Ghibli.
In conclusion, never has an animation studio made so much of an impact in the artistic world more than Studio Ghibli. With every film they make, whether it be from Hayao Miyazaki, Isao Takahata, Hiromasa Yonebayashi, Goro Miyazaki, and many more, they always offer the ultimate combination of storytelling, animation, creativity, and a little bit of Japanese culture. Not only are some of their films amongst the greatest animated features ever made, but they have also influenced thousands of artists all over the world, including many big-name talents, by setting a brand new standard in the field of animation and filmmaking. They may have only made movies for 30 years, but their legacy and impact will forever last a lifetime. And now, to finish things off, I'm going to count down the top 10 best Studio Ghibli films.
Here we go. Number 10, Ponyo. Number 9, Porco Rosso. Number 8, The Secret World of Arrietty. Number 7, Castle in the Sky. Number 6, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. Number 5, Howl's Moving Castle. Number 4, My Neighbor Totoro. Number 3, Princess Mononoke. Number 2, Grave of the Fireflies. And number 1, Spirited Away.
Well, that's all I've got for Studio Ghibli. Join me next time, and instead of looking at movies or TV shows, we're going to be looking at some of the most beloved characters in the history of animation. Until next time, see you later, Doc!
Jigen, can you believe that guy? He's nuts!